Hey, it's John from 6th Place Off-Road. Today we're going to install a dash cam. Not the GoPro, a dash cam. I promise. Alright, so this is the stuff I'm using. It's honestly the same for every dash cam, but if you like this stuff, I will put the links below. Alright, so most dash cams are going to come with kind of everything you need to plug it into your 12 volt. So your, well, used to be cigarette lighter, now actual just 12 volt. Instructions, all of that. Generally going to come with all of this stuff here. So plug it in, and then the other end is a USB-C, kind of hard to see there. We are actually going to hardwire it with these guys. This is just another simple kit, but USB-C, power, ground, and then we are going to tap that using a fuse tap, and we're going to tap that into something on the vehicle. Preferably, this guy's a 5 amp, so preferably only a 10, and then something that's only on when the ignition is on. That way it only records while the vehicle's on. You can run it other ways to record while the vehicle is resting, but I have an old truck and I don't trust my battery to start in the morning if it recorded all night. All right, so first step is going to be to locate which fuse we want to tap off of. I've already kind of done a little work and figured it out. I'm gonna run off ignition down here. Best way to do that is with a voltmeter. If you're not sure how to do that, let me know. I'll definitely make a video on that. They're super simple though. Basically, we're gonna set it to DC, 20, and then ground to your grounded battery, and you can test the positive with the red positives. Test it with the vehicle on, with the vehicle off. That's going to tell you if that is something that runs all the time or if it turns on with the ignition. So once we've figured out our fuses, we just need to figure out how to get through the firewall. I do already have my spots there. Usually not too hard. Modern vehicles do make this a little harder, but the older stuff, it's pretty easy. So I've got my spot down here where it comes through. Then we're going to go up behind the dash. I'm going to pull this pillar, run the wires up behind the headliner, and then we'll mount it just in front of the rear view mirror there. Nice thing with that is I can disguise those wires with the other ones, and I won't see it when I'm driving. As you can see with this truck, I already kind of have a lot of distractions when I'm off-road, and I don't really need any more. Something to consider before you start running any wires is things like this box. Now, as you can tell, this is not going to fit through any opening we make in the firewall, and if we do make an opening that big, we've kind of made a giant mess. So I'm going to check to see, but I have a pretty good feeling that this is going to live in the engine bay, and then this will be inside. Reason being is I believe this will be long enough, and this certainly, I really don't think that's long enough to be behind the dash and then reach through the firewall all the way to our power. So I've got it temporarily mocked up just to kind of see my length, and it looks like I'm going to be close, but it should hopefully reach without any extensions. And like that, we have the wires in the cab. So now it's time to pull that pillar off, feed it over. As a side note here, this blue corrugated line, that is the sunroof drain. So if you have leaking around any of these, like here, or on the floor down here, that's probably clogged or broken. So normally what I do in this situation is fish wire down here, attach it to that end and then pull it up. But I think I can actually just reach my arms. So we'll try that first. And if not, then we'll use the wire technique. Uh-oh. Yeah. There we go. We'll pull this up carefully, catching on things. We'll have to kind of zap strap any excess in place after, but we'll get it all here. Perfect, now up we go. All right, so now we're going to actually mount the camera so that we know how much extra or how little extra we need. So one thing this kit didn't come with that I normally would expect it to, maybe I just couldn't find them, but didn't have any alcohol wipes. Conveniently. I got a few. The whole area, because I'm not 100% sure where it's going yet. And if you're wondering about all the scratches and such on my windshield, that was before I owned it. I think some idiot went mudding with the truck, had a bunch of mud between the wipers and the window, and thought the smartest idea was to run the wipers. In theory, that should be straight, but it's just so hard to know. Plug in. Cool. So now we really just have to attach it to the fuse tap, put the fuse tap in, and then clean up all our ugly wires. Yeah, so cool thing I just discovered. Probably should have read the instructions, but that actually pops out. That's kind of cool. So behind this pillar, you could probably get away with not actually having zip ties, but that's not really my style. I like to have things tied up tight, out of the way, especially when you're using your trucks off-road. It's a little different if this is just your kind of daily commuter. Then, you know, you can get away with a lot more, but to me, having things just dangle, rattle around doesn't really seem all that smart, especially when it takes, I mean, you guys just watched, it took like 30 seconds to do all that. And now our pillar goes back in. Leather stripping out of the way. I've only had this out once before, so I'm not super versed in it. But like most body panels, it's pretty straightforward. Yep. And there we go. Couple of smacks. 2 10-mil bolts back in that one. Put my janky weather stripping back in. And that's gonna look clean. If you've seen any of my videos before, you'll know I am a big fan of protecting your wires. So I am gonna run some lume on all the stuff that's in the engine bay. It just helps dissipate the heat. And if it catches on something, it's not gonna split the wire in short. Yes, I am standing on a step stool because I'm not overly tall. Well, I don't know if she's fitting back there anymore. This engine bay is getting a little full of wiring. I really should remove some of the old stuff. I kind of left everything in after when I put the switch panel in and was, I mean, just lazy. There's no other word for it. One of these days, but also one of these days I'm going to pull the box off and rebuild it. I'm also going to fix the rockers, so I have to cut that all off and weld in new ones. There's a lot of things I'm going to do one of these days. So this kit does come with a bunch of different fuse taps, which is kind of cool. Also gives me a ton of extra I can just take to work when I work on customers' vehicles. But they've done it really simple. So basically we're gonna go in here, male into female, done. I'm going to tape this off for now, but I'll probably grab some heat shrink, just add a little layer. Fuse I need is in here, so I'll just snake it through. I've already kind of got a spot here. As you can see, I've got 2 other fuse taps in there. So I will run this guy through, ground it, and then I guess we're ready to test. All right, so that's basically in here covered. I'm just gonna go inside there, wrap up the little excess wire, zip tie it off, and then we'll test it out, and then I can finish siliconing that access hole through the firewall. And that is just how easy it is to install a hidden dash cam. I mean, not hidden, but all the cables are hidden. Can't see a thing. It's all cleaned up down there. So now the only cables I have to worry about are my radio, phone, GoPro. I am going to be putting a power port in there soon. Definitely do a video on that because that's going to be pretty cool. Once again, I hate cables, so having like a 4-inch long cable down to a power spot is pretty wicked. And with that, we are done, and it looks like I did nothing.